Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
What is poppin', fam? Welcome to the Big Brown Breakdown live. July 9th. July 9th. We are 2 days away from UFC 329. The Mac is back. The Mac is back. It's going down. I cannot wait. For those of you that don't know, we will do a live Big Brown showdown at 7:30 p.m. Central Time right on this exact channel you're watching right now. If you're listening, Saturday night, head on over to the Thick Boy YouTube and join us live. Be Chin and myself in person reacting to all the shenanigans of International Fight Week and the return of the Mystic Mac. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Good spirits today. What am I drinking? This is a Screamin' Freedom. I like the size. Sometimes energy drinks are too much. There's too much liquid in them. That one tastes like American Tears. I'll take it. That's a good thing. Eagle Tears. Yeah, man. It's a good day, though. Baby girl went for her checkup, which is a big marker for her legs because she has these braces, and we're hoping because she's walking, she's still not messy when she's running, but she has these braces on her legs, and we're hoping they cut them down. So she's there now. So fingers crossed, all goes well. She can not ditch the braces. She's gonna have to have those for a few years, but hopefully just lower them. Right now she runs like the Tin Man, but I'll take it. It's progress. It's progress, baby. But let's get to it, man. A lot on the docket for today. Chin, with what I sent you, can you bring it up on this screen? A lot going on. You had the presser for UFC 329, so we heard from the whole gang. Clearly, the man of the hour, Conor McGregor, had a lot of things to say. And I'll tell you this, I told you guys, probably on Monday or Tuesday, maybe during the live chat, I forget, but a lot will go into Conor's demeanor coming into the week, right? He shows up kind of not late by all regards as far as the other fighters got there on Tuesday. He came in a little late, so he's not on Embedded. He's not on some of the other stuff. He's not on UFC socials, and people are like, oh, Conor's pulling out. And you hear why. Well, he was in Newport, California, and they liked the weather out there, and they wanted the training facilities out there. I know he's training at Fight Camp, some other areas out there, and their setup was good. So he was like, yeah, I'm just going to come in a little later. Nothing to be scared of. The fight's still on, and I think that's a good thing. If you listen to Conor talk, we back. We are back, man. And can you bring him up on here, Chin? Yeah. He's back. He's in a good mindset. I think that's the biggest thing. And the biggest takeaway from all this is it seems different this time. Meaning it seems different that he knows that this is the last shot. This is the last hurrah. This is a fork in the road, and he's kind of checked all boxes, and he's putting his best foot forward. And I think hearing Conor's preparation and where his mindset's at, coming into Saturday night, you are going to get the very best version of Conor in 2026. What's that mean? I don't know. Does that mean the Conor that beat Eddie Alvarez? No. Is it the Conor that beat Jose Aldo? No. Those days are gone. But that doesn't mean you're not getting a damn good version of Conor McGregor It just, I find it hard to believe after hearing some of the sacrifices he's made, especially when he doesn't need to. So it lets me know he knows how serious this is. You know, if you listen to John, his coach on Ariel, or you hear his coach talk on the Mac Life, Conor moved into the gym. And when I heard that, I'm like, all right. I kind of rolled my eyes. Like, did he? Is he there one night? And he's like, no. 6 months ago, he moved into the gym. And Ariel goes, how long do you think that would last? He goes, one day. And he goes, it was 6 months. It was 6 months. And he has a state-of-the-art gym at his house, but he decided to live in the gym, to literally dedicate, the past 6 months to his career. And that's how you know how it's desperate measures. It's desperate measures for Conor McGregor. It's desperate measures coming back after all this time. And it sounds like he's training smarter. He's fully in. He's fully dedicated. And I think he knows he's going to need all the help he can get in order to achieve what him and his team want to achieve Saturday night. And it's going to take this. It's going to take this sort of mindset, this sort of dedication for him to pull off a win over Max Holloway. Because it is over. It is over. If he goes through all this, sleeping in the gym, sleeping with his wife, sex with his wife, just to make sure he's mentally focused, which is not a real thing. But for him, if that helps you get there, all good, more power to you. Science will show that actually lowers your testosterone. All good. If he thinks it's real, the placebo is real, it's going to work for Conor McGregor, right? So he's making all these sacrifices, sleeping in the gym, diet's on point, doing everything necessary. And if he checks all these boxes, he's on the straight and narrow, no alcohol, not staying out late, not partying, not doing all this stuff, being focused, training his ass off, training smart, getting to sleep, eating right, checking all the boxes. He's done all he can. And Saturday night, he gets his ass whooped, then the ride's officially over. And he knows this. His team knows this. I also think some of the key takeaways, too, is, Conor hasn't fought in 5 years. That's not great. But in hindsight, he did go through an actual full camp, a legit camp. And for those of you that, yes, that's not the same as fighting under the lights in the Octagon and having the build up and going through all that and the media week and all that and, seeing the fruits of your labor. But a camp is really, really important. It's the most important. Camp is where you get better. Camp is where you get in shape. Camp is where you figure out what works, what doesn't work. You have your training partners. So he went through a full camp, then broke his toe, and then wasn't able to face Conor McGregor. Wasn't able to face Michael Chandler. Yes, he hasn't fought in 5 years, but I think on the positive side, he has gone through a camp way more recent than 5 years ago. And that's a plus for Conor. That's a plus for Conor. Huge plus for Conor. And I, when you see Conor talk and the confidence is there, it's different than when he was getting ready to fight Chandler, right? That build up and some of the terrible shit he was saying online, or was getting ready to fight Khabib or some of these other guys, or Dustin Poirier, because you could almost feel like he wasn't believing what he was saying because he wasn't putting in the work. When he fought Jose Aldo, when he fought Eddie Alvarez, he put in the work. So what he was saying, we knew it was a heightened version of Conor McGregor, the Mystic Mac, quote unquote. But the reason we believed it and the reason he believed it is because we know, or we assumed, he was doing the correct things to be the very best Conor McGregor he could be. Really past those fights, the Khabib fight, he's on record saying how, he wasn't all there. He wasn't all there. He was partying on yachts and he was doing all this shit. He still, went 4 rounds with Khabib, and then the other fights, he just wasn't locked in, wasn't dedicated. But again, he's still special on the mic, but we didn't believe it as much. Neither did he. And fighters get confidence. I know when I was fighting, the reason why I was confident, didn't talk shit like Conor or some of these other guys, but I would tell myself this, or I'd tell my training partners this, or in interviews I'd come off, you guys might think it's arrogant, but it's exuding confidence, is because I know I did everything in my capabilities to win this fight. I ate right, slept right, trained with the hardest training partners, flew them in. I did everything I could possibly do. There's nothing else I could do in order to win this fight, and that's where the confidence comes from, and that's what I see in Conor. For the first time, when he talks, I believe him. In a long time. I shouldn't say in the first time, but in a long time, probably since the Eddie Alvarez days. The Floyd stuff, no. You know, I was part of that. I worked that event. My job was to sell you on Conor having a chance at that fight. No. And I think it's interesting because Conor, he's pretty open. You know, the media does a good job kind of, hey, man, holding his feet to the fire. Like, you know, they bring up his accusations in, you know, Ireland and stuff like that. And he's like, I'm innocent. I'll die by it. I swear my innocence and stuff like that. They alludes to his drinking. And, boy, I could not relate to this more. It's not about me. This is Conor McGregor's journey. But when he goes, yeah, you know, I've been an athlete my whole life, never had drinking problems. And then I started my own whiskey company, proper whiskey, right? And then they send cases to your house. And then in order to promote, you got to bring the whiskey wherever you go. You're drinking that creates a snowball. My drinking problem started when I started Tiger Thick whiskey. I was a whiskey fan. I would drink it, but it wasn't part of my business. I wasn't making money off of it. But then when you have a financial benefit or investment into something that you own and involves alcohol, well, then it becomes a different monster. Meaning you're bringing it with you everywhere. It's on set. It's at here. It's there. You're getting bottles out. You're opening it with friends. They're opening it. You're constantly around poison. That's what it is. Alcohol is poison. That becomes a main staple in your life, and it can get out of hand because it's constantly around you. And not only you constantly around it, you're promoting it. It's always with you. It's part of your crew now. That alcohol is part of your crew, and you're constantly drinking it, and then it's a snowball, and it gets out of control. It gets out of control. And for Conor too, you know, hearing him talk and being so open, we've never witnessed a star of Conor's level in mixed martial arts ever. Not even remotely close. Not even close. The closest to Conor, so there's Conor, and then the rest of the stratosphere as far as stars is down here. The only one to kind of grace that top of the mountain would be Ronda Rousey, as far as star quality, crossover, dabbling in Hollywood, sponsorships. John Jones didn't reach that level. Nowhere near. You know, you think about Brock Lesnar, but still wasn't to Conor's level, just wasn't there. So Conor had to figure this out because no one's been through it. Some of the other stars in other sports, you know, Deion Sanders, Shohei Ohtani, Bryce Harper, you know, in the NBA, you got your stars there, LeBron. In football, it'd be like a Messi, Ronaldo, like you know, where when they do what they do best, whether it's soccer, football, baseball, basketball, the world pays attention. Not just your genre, not just the soccer fans or the NFL fans or the NBA fans, the casuals. The world pays attention when you perform what you do best. Conor's the only one that really achieved that. So he got shot in another stratosphere. That's never happened in our sport. So his experience going through the UFC is so unique and so different than any of us have ever could possibly fathom. Chuck Liddell didn't get to those levels. Ronda, Hoist Gracie, you name it. Ken Shamrock, all the greats. No one is able to touch what Conor. BJ Penn. It doesn't mean he's the GOAT. It means his star power, his stardom went beyond the UFC. Just like some of these other superstars that I named in other organizations and other sports, they excel beyond the sport. Conor excelled beyond the sport. Heavy lies the crown. So when that happens with Conor, right? Fighters aren't used to that type of what you call it, that type of attention on that scale, where you go from a fighter, right? He's this kid on food stamps, basically. He's sleeping at his mom's house. And he goes from that to work out in the gym with John Kavanagh, and he starts fighting the regional scene, and the next thing you know, boom. How do you handle it? Who could you go to in our line of business that would be like, listen, buddy, here's the traps you could fall into? There's nobody. Now, I'm not exonerating him, or I'm not making excuses for some of the things that he's done, especially the really bad stuff, which is a whole different can of worms. I'm saying as far as falling down the lane of drinking excessively, girls, drugs, yachts, not coming home, partying, making relationships with bad friends, and your friends fuck you over, like Artem, right? Artem and him were super close. Yeah. When you're the man and you demand all this attention, and you have all this money, and these people come into your life, and you think they have your best interest for you, they're not. They're scumbags. They're scumbags. They're trying to get money out of you. You know, it's heartbreaking. But there's no book that I can go into Barnes & Noble and buy that's going to be like, hey, are you becoming an international superstar? Here's a 7-chapter book on how to handle it. There's none of that. So I can't fathom what Conor deals with. John Kavanagh talks about on Ariel's interview how, back in the day, I think after he beat Brando, maybe even before that, but him and John walked into the screening of The Ultimate Fighter. Nobody bothered him. There's nothing there. And Ariel goes, how's it different now? He goes, now went to a movie the other day, and we have to have security come in first. We have to call the theater. It shuts things down. He can't go anywhere. He can't do anything. His life has totally changed on every aspect. Things are different for him. I mean, Cry Me a River, he's worth how much money? But it's just different. And fighters, that's for MMA, that's just not. It's not something anybody's ever had to deal with. It's not. Chuck Liddell didn't have to deal with this. Ronda didn't have to deal with this. Hoist Gracie, Chuck, Tito, you name it. Brock Lesnar, not at this scale. Not this magnitude. When you have an entire nation riding on your back, and you're the most famous man in your country, and every mistake you made is going to be sensationalized and brought to the public's attention. Every single facet of your life is examined, and it's just something I don't think anybody can prepare you for. You can try to have good people around you. And John's great, and the Mac Life guys are great, and Audie's great, and he has a great team around him. I don't know. There's nothing you can do to prepare for that. There's no college course on it. There's no therapist that can relate to you. You're on your own, navigating that world. And he hit rock bottom. My God, did that man hit rock bottom. But would it not be the greatest comeback in sports history if he pulled it off Saturday night? That's what I root for. That's why I cheer for Conor. Max went, and I love Max. Max went all good. I love Max. He's awesome. He's awesome, man. How can you not like Max Holloway? He's fucking awesome. Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer. If he wins, cool, man. No harm, no foul. Would it be special? Not really. Max wins all the time. Max had that insane win over Justin Gaethje. Obviously, the BMF title didn't go his way. All good. Max can lose, and you don't think any less of him. But if Conor wins, you're talking about something different. The earth moves a little different. The media moves a little different. Have you ever seen a fighter walk into a room and everyone takes their phones out? I'm talking everyone. Everyone. The media members that talk shit about him on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, years ago, who criticized him for the civil court lawsuit, for criticizing him for his fighting style, his personal shit. They take their phones out when he comes in the room. He shuts the room down. He's the only fighter in the history of mixed martial arts that shuts the room down. That's called star power, friends. That is star power. You think we have stars, and then Conor, who's been out 5 mother trucking years, walks into the room, and watch what every single person in that room does. They all shut the fuck up. They take their phones out to send it to their friends and family and post on social media. John Jones walks into the room, doesn't command that. Brock Lesnar walks into rooms, doesn't command that. Randy Couture would walk in rooms, doesn't command that. Anderson Silva, been with him, walks in rooms, doesn't shut it down. All those guys are very special. They're all outliers. But there's only one actual must-see TV generational talent. His name's Conor McGregor. And he, being out for 5 years, still has that star power. There will never be another one. That's why I root for him on Saturday. Yeah, but what about all the legal stuff in Ireland? Shut up. Shut up. That's over with. It's done with. All that's over with. All that's over with. For a guy to be out 5 years, have the training camp, prepared for a fight, biggest star ever, leg falls off against Dustin Poirier, has a titanium rod. He's Wolverine now. He's an Irish Wolverine. Has a titanium rod put in his leg, got out of the testing protocol, takes all the good, comes back, fights a legend in Max Holloway at 170 after a UFC White House card. If he pulls this off, it will be the greatest comeback in sports history. Despite how you feel about Conor, whatever, just take that for what it is. Would you not want to see that? You're telling me you don't want to see that. You're telling me, after watching this media frenzy, everyone foaming at the dick over Conor McGregor being out 5 years, and those media members talked all that shit for years. All of them. Watch every show right now in my lane. Watch every single show. Look at all their thumbnails. Look at all the titles. Look at all the CEO shit, all that. Go look at it. After you watch this, of course. Go look at it. Every single one of these nut huggers have Conor McGregor in their headline. They talked all that shit for years. All that shit. Conor's good for business. Conor's great for business. Conor's the only actual superstar we've ever had. He's the only superstar that they currently have. We have stars. Poton's a star. Does the world shut down when Poton fights? No. No. Most people around this office, where we're at, they don't even know he's fighting. Does the world shut down when Sean Strickland fights? Love Sean Strickland. No. Absolutely not. Does the world shut down when Jake Paul fights? No. They don't. Despite what Netflix tells you, they don't. Most people, most casuals don't give a fuck. They don't. They never have. They never have. There's only one real superstar in mixed martial arts in combat sports. That's Conor McGregor. And watching that media day proves that. Proves that. I love watching people freak out. Love it. Getting their phones out. Chomping at the bit for interviews. And you're getting the Mystic Mac. Getting the Mystic Mac. I thought about this too, in the super chat. We'll get to the questions after this, kids. Appreciate you guys being here. When Trevor Whitman, he gets brought up with Justin Gaethje. Obviously, Frost gets brought up with GSP, and Javier Mendez with Kane and Khabib, right? And there's other big-time coaches, Nick Sick with Francis. And the question that people always bring up is, is Trevor Whitman top 5? Is Frost top 5? Was Duke Rufus top 5? And all this stuff. And I think what all these combos, these duos have in common. And at the end of the day, John and Conor, right? One of the most epic duos of all time. And at the end of the day, it's beyond X's and O's. Because Conor's so talented, Justin Gaethje's so talented, Francis Ngannou's so talented, Sean Strickland's so talented with Nick Sick. Francis super talented. Poatan with his guy talented. GSP's talented as all get out. So they could really walk into any gym in the world and they're still going to be awesome. Will they reach the peak greatness? I don't know. But the reason why John and Conor and Trevor and Justin and all these guys, because even if they're similar in age, they're mentors, and it's not about X's and O's. It's not about breaking down the fight and watching film. That's a given. Any coach in the world that you're connected to does that. But these guys have these leaders, these mentors in their life where they can open up to and they understand exactly what they're going through. And that's what makes these tandems, these duos, so great together. And when that bond's that strong, they're almost unstoppable when they get to their rise. And when you have that talent and you have a coach, quote-unquote coach, friend, who actually cares about their fighter beyond just winning, but they actually have that bond. It's like Avatar, right, where they connect their bullshit ponytail to the horse and they connect and they vibe off each other and they're connected by that. That's what this is. That's when we get greatness. That's when we get generational talent. That's when we get dominant champions. It's not the X's and O's. It's that these guys can connect to these fighters and speak to them and connect with them. They understand what they're going through. The X's and O's, anyway, there's a million guys who can teach that. A million guys. It's beyond that. It's the mental. It's the mental side of things. It's the friendship side. It's the brotherhood. That's what it is. That's what makes these duos so great. The coach is great. The fighter's great. It's that connection. And boys, that connection between John and Conor, freaking tight, man. Tight. Because they were asking us, man, after all he's been through, with, the downs and the ups, especially the downs, you stood by him. I love it. John goes, I'm sorry. That's my friend. What'd you expect me to do? That's my friend. I also know things you guys don't know. The media will portray things like this, but this is actually what happened. I have deep, long conversation with Conor, not for the media, not to sell tickets, not to sell T-shirts, not to sell whiskey, not to sell cigars, not to promote the gym, not to promote the UFC. Actual, genuine conversations about what the hell is going on. Not with his lawyers, not with other people or in front of his wife. Me and him connected on a deep level. I know Conor. I know exactly what happened. He's my friend. That's why I stick by him. Boom. I hear that. I'm like, that's the guy. That's the guy. Your friends are going to go through some shit. Maybe not to the level of what Conor, hopefully, God willing, that doesn't happen. But if shit does hit the fan, you want a friend like that. You want a friend like that. I've been through it. Callan went through his shit. D'Elia went through his shit. I can't believe you stood next to Callan. I'm sorry. You never had a friend go through some shit? No? What should I do? I've known him 20 years now? Both of them? I should walk away? Yeah, man, you can't be associated with that. Hold on, you talking about the guy I've known, like my brother, 15 years? The fuck you talking about? Cowards. Yeah, but the media said this. They don't know shit. Of course. They get views. They want views. They want to tear guys down. What do you expect them to do? The fuck you expect them to do? We got to make picks today, too, Chin. It's Thursday, baby. I want the Super Chats pick as well. See if you guys disagree with us. You know, when it comes, we'll just kick off with Conor and Max Holloway. There's two factors here that I think people aren't paying enough attention to when you look at Conor McGregor, Max Holloway. Now, anybody who's breaking down a Conor McGregor fight, good for you. If you're looking at previous fights, I get it. That's the thing you should be doing. But at the end of the day, after a 5-year layoff, and we really don't have much coverage of his actual camp they went through with Chandler or this, we don't know what the fuck we're getting. They're talking about different stances. They're talking about grappling. I don't know what we're going to get. So anybody telling you, I know this for a fact, they don't. So there's some variables. There's some X factors that we do not know. So you're basing your pick off certain things, just depending who you like more. But at the end of the day, we don't know what version of Conor McGregor we're getting. Nobody does. John, his coach, might have an idea, but nobody knows until they get into that goddamn octagon. John can say, oh, well, in training, man, that leg looked good, and he was doing this. But the night of the fight's different. And he's been out 5 years. No one actually knows what version we're going to get. Now, based off his mental space, based off his dedication, his discipline, based off the things he's saying that I genuinely believe, I truly believe we're going to get the best version of Conor McGregor in his current state Saturday night. The very best. What's that mean? I don't know. At his age, coming off this injury, I don't know. But I expect it to be a good one. I do. Am I expected it to be vintage Conor that starts Jose Aldo? No, that's crazy. Do I expect to be a better version that fought Dustin Poirier? I do. I think two big things. I say all that to get back to the point. I think two big things that all these other people in my space are overlooking is the biggest factor for Conor is this fight's at 170. Conor is a true 170 these days. A bona fide 170er by every metrics. And he's been planning this over the 5 years, got out of the testing protocol to come back not at 55. They decided a long time ago, years ago, that when he does eventually come back, it's going to be at 170. That is a significant advantage for him. Max found out 6 months ago. Conor's fought at 70 before. Cowboy, right? He's fought Cowboy there. He fought Nate Diaz there. He's fought there before and has had success, but not like this. Those fights weren't like this. The preparation wasn't to be the epitome, the actual maximum Conor McGregor we can be at 170. Saturday night, this is a prime 170 Conor McGregor. Hits like a welterweight, moves like a welterweight. So I think that's such a significant advantage for Conor over Max Holloway. The other thing, and this is coming out from a Max Holloway fan, but let's call it what it is. The last time Max Holloway fought, he got washed. He got dog walked. Yeah, but it's for BMF, and he thought it was going to be stand-up only. Cool story, bro. Cool story. But if you watch Max in other fights, whenever there's grappling, he adapted to the fight, made changes and won. He made 0 changes in that Charles Oliveira fight. 0 over those rounds. 0. Now, is it because he just decided he didn't want to? Max is a smart dude. One of the greatest fighters of all time. He knows what he should be doing. So if he's incapable of making those changes, what is it? It's an older Max Holloway. Charles Oliveira is better. Charles Oliveira is more talented in the grappling department. So you look at that, and we throw it away. The UFC really doesn't acknowledge that fight, right? The UFC, they're kind of just like, oh, man, that was a bullshit BMF card. Max, here's Conor. All good. Well, hold on. I don't forget that. No, hold on. Wait, let's go back to that. He got dog-walked in that fight. Yeah, but there's no striking. I don't give a fuck. It's an MMA fight. This ain't boxing. You signed up for a mixed martial arts contest and got outclassed for 5 rounds. But he couldn't submit him. Yeah, takedown defense was good. His grappling was atrocious. He got taken down every single round, multiple times. Put up 0 fight. That ain't the old Max Holloway that I used to know and love. That means he's getting a little long in the tooth. That's a huge red flag if you're betting on Max Holloway this Saturday. Conor's had a long layoff, yep, but he did have a proper camp. And he has been literally zeroing in on fighting at welterweight. Max has not. Max last fight, he looked like he's long in the tooth. Maybe he's lost a step. I like Conor McGregor's chances. I think Conor beats him, knocks him out in the second round. And it's not because I dislike Max. I love Max. I hate picking against Max. I think what Conor, if he can pull it off on Saturday night, is the biggest achievement in comeback sports history, and I want to see greatness. I want to see that. Am I glazing Conor? Maybe a little bit, but I want great. I want to witness greatness. I want to see that. Max winning, I've seen before. I've seen that. It's awesome. That's what Max does. Max loses, no harm, no foul. Still a Hall of Famer. Still has other big fights for him. But if Conor loses, the ride's fucking over. And I'm not ready to get off. If this is Splash Mountain, I'm going, again, bitch. Again. They're like, buddy, at some point you got to get off. Right. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And I'm getting wet. I'm with you. I got to get off, but not Saturday, bitch. Not Saturday. Do it again. Put me on the ride again. We're going again. How fun is that? How much better is this sport for you guys watching, you guys in the chat, you guys? How much better is this sport when Conor McGregor is fighting? Be honest with yourself. Maybe you don't like him. Maybe you don't agree with his antics outside the octagon. I get all that. But from a sport, from an athlete perspective, take all the drama out, all the bullshit, all the personal drama out. Take that out of all of this. Can you tell me, can you sit there with a straight face and tell me that this isn't a better sport with Conor McGregor? You're full of shit. You're out of your mind. This has been awesome, and we're just getting started. That's why I want to see him win. Imagine if he wins. What's next? I don't know. I know it's awesome. Islam, are you out of your mind? Yeah, sign me up, dude. I'm still on the ride, getting wet on Splash Mountain, baby. Let's go. Paddy Pimblett, let's go. Justin Gaethje, why not? Machado Gary wins. Oh my God, we're going to Dublin. We're doing a live big round from Dublin. That's what we're doing. It's so fun. It's so fun. And you cannot deny that this is awesome this week. This is awesome. When's the last time we had this? When's the last UFC fighter got you this hype? There's only been one. You think of special moments. Last one we had pretty recently, Justin Gaethje at the White House. How crazy was that? Now, imagine if Justin Gaethje goes in there and gets fucking washed. Face down, ass up. Is it as special? Is it because we don't like Justin? No. Is it because we don't like Ilia Topuria? No. But he was a huge favorite. He was supposed to win. That's usually how things go. The Dodgers win. That's what they do. Okay, cool, man. It'd be fucking cool to see maybe some shitty team, say the Rockies win the World Series. That'd be badass. Because they're not supposed to do it. Ilia Topuria was supposed to go in there and absolutely mollywop. I think he was, 5-1 favorite at the White House? You're fighting on American soil at the goddamn White House? And you're going to knock out the American? And Justin Gaethje said, not today. I'm walking through the Oval fucking office and I'm beating this dude up in front of the entire world. That was awesome. And then he does a backflip off the fucking Octagon and the White House is in the background. It's the best picture in professional sports. It was insane. I'll take that away. So they go in there. Topuria knocks him out in a minute 20. We're not even talking about it. There's no headlines. There's no, oh my God, we're going, yeah, Justin's done. What's next for Justin? Justin, I was going to retire if I lost. But he didn't. He made history. He finally became the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. He owns every belt in UFC history. Every belt. That's what he did at the White House. That's what makes it special. Those moments are what make it special. And we have an opportunity Saturday night to freaking get a special moment. And it's not that I'm cheering against Ilia. It's not that I don't like Ilia. He's amazing. It's not that I don't like Max. He's awesome. I live for these special moments in the UFC. And Saturday night has the opportunity to be one of the biggest moments, if not the biggest moment in UFC history. Sign me the fuck up. That's why I root for Conor. That's why I'm picking Conor. Because if he loses, I got to get off this ride. That's my Conor rant. I got Conor over Max, second round knockout. Chin?
Let's see here.
A little more enthusiasm would be great.
Because I had to think. But I did look at a lot of footage leading up to this.
Footage of what?
Just like, behind the scenes stuff, especially training footage. And I just showed you that picture of Conor right now too, right? His body looks insane for 170. Remember before when he went up, he looked kind of a little bit flabby-ish?
Because he wasn't a true 70er. He didn't optimize his body to fight at 70. He was inflated 55er, taking an opportunity to fight Nate Diaz at 70.
Yep. So I saw the fact that he's not on, he's not doing stuff. He's just literally just training and doing all that stuff. And then I saw him like training takedown stuff. So I'm just like, I'm going with Conor. I think the universe, it needs it right now. So it's going to be like this moment, like you said, like this crazy moment, and it's just going to happen. Yeah.
It'd be the talk of the fucking town, man. It'd be so cool to witness that. It'd be cool. Benoît Saint Denis versus Paddy Pimblett. Man, when they first announced this fight, I hated it for Paddy. And then I had a gentleman, we weren't doing the live super chats at the time. But when this fight was announced, I came on Big Brown Breakdown, SCHAUBSHOW at the time, formerly known as SCHAUBSHOW. I came on here, I go, I hate this for Paddy. Why would they do this? You got to protect them, give them a better matchup. You need them to win. 2 losses, it's kind of screws them. And the guy goes, hey, man, you always talk about how when you get to the UFC, you got to be ready to go. You got to be able to beat everybody, any matchup they throw you. Now all of a sudden you're saying we got to protect Paddy? That doesn't make sense. He's ranked in the top 10. Where's that energy? I went, oh shit, you're right. And as this fight goes on, and we saw Paddy's performance over with Justin Gaethje, in hindsight, you're like, Paddy's tough as shit. Yeah, the fight was sloppy. Yeah, I thought it was a bad game plan. But at the end of the day, even though he fought like dog shit, he took a beating. And Paddy's very talented, big for the division, has all the star power. Not at Conor's level, but god damn, that kid has it, I like Paddy's chances. You watch BSD Mikano. I think Paddy needs to take some sort of motivation from that, some sort of example from that. You can't sit there and strike with him. I think he's going to learn from his mistakes with Justin, whatever the fuck that game plan was. I don't know if it was injuries, whatever it was, to sit there and exchange with Justin Gaethje and eat those shots. You have no business being in that. You have no business doing that. You're not going to win a fight that way. I think he learned from that. I think he also learned how tough he is. And I think he's going to make the correct changes in order to get back on track. And I think he submits BSD. I'll take Paddy via submission over BSD. Cory Sandhagen, Mario Bautista. This is one of those picks. Again, I always tell you guys I'm super biased. So I don't know about putting money on my picks. Feel free to fire off and do it. But I have a little bias if I have a connection to the guy. Cory Sandhagen was in the gym when he came in. I think he was 15. He was a basketball player, knew nothing. He's an Aurora native. He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, combat athlete out of Aurora, Colorado. So I go with I'm a homer here. I take Cory Sandhagen. Probably say decision. I could see Cory getting him out of there, but either way, I see Cory winning. Brandon Royval was
Lonair.
Lonair?
Lonair Kavanagh.
A tough fight for Brandon Royval. If you watch Lonair in Cage Warriors, he's a fucking banshee, man. I love Brandon Royval. I love his fighting style, right? They call him Raw Dog. He always brings it. He has to be the most exciting flyweight. Somebody would say Cape, but Brandon Royval, from top to bottom, he's good at everything, and he just has that dog in him, hence his nickname, the Raw Dog. He hit some amazing rounds against your boy Joshua Van. That was such a good fight. Such a fucking good fight. Such a good fight. He's coming off 2 losses. He's lost to the very tip of the spear, guys. Has he had his run? He always loses to the very, very best. Pantoja, Moreno, Pantoja again, Joshua Van, Cape. Like, he loses to the very, very top guys. And you can only maintain. He reminds me of Joey Benavidez. You can only maintain that vibrant for so long, and then you come down a notch. You're no longer able to fuck with the 1 and 2 guys. But you're good enough to beat the 4, 5, and 6, but you're never going to beat those guys. And you go notches down, especially at this age, especially at this division. It might be time for some new blood. I hate picking against Brandon Royval. I'll take Loner. Chin?
Brandon.
Yeah, that's a fair pick. King Green, Terrance McKinney. I love this for a first fight on the main card. I would have liked to see Robert Whittaker on there. I think he's earned it. Who knows why they put him on the prelims. But King Green, Terrance McKinney. Now, if this is 5 years ago, King Green has enough experience where a young kid like T-Rex, Terrance McKinney, when they just, the storm they come at you, he has the footwork and the experience to get out of the way and not be overwhelmed by it. But I think those days are done. I think Terrance McKinney is just such a tidal wave. I like both these guys. I love this fight, but I'll take Terrance McKinney first round. TKO, KO.
Are you more excited for this now that you hear about the little bit of drama?
Drama that they used to be boys?
Yeah, well, one person, Bobby says they were boys, and then Terrance is like, well, we kind of hung out like once or something.
Yeah, I don't care about any of that stuff. You know what? I don't need any drama for that fight. It's such a good fight.
That's a pretty
It's such a good fight.
fight.
Then at light heavyweight, for the prelims, you have Robert Whittaker versus Krylov. I just think Robert Whittaker, he's a bigger dude. He's a stout dude. He's a bigger dude. It's a new life for him. It gives him a resurgence for his career. A guy's been doing it for a long, long time, so I'm sure it's hard for him to get up. His strength of schedule's out of this world. For light heavyweight, especially in 2026, he's so much more skilled than most of those guys. I assume he's put on weight the right way, unlike Poatan, some of these other cats. I'll take Whittaker. I think Whittaker gets it done, KO or TKO. And Krylov, when he loses by knockout or he wins by knockout. And he's just a tough night in the office. I hate this fight for Whittaker, especially after all he's done for the UFC, but I think he gets it done. And then there's big boy fights on the horizon for Robert Whittaker. Heavyweight Gable Steveson. Do you know anybody picking Ellison? Here's the other thing with Gable Steveson too is if you see him in media days, especially with his shirt off, not a big dude, not a big guy. How much? Do we know how much he weighs? They're doing the live weigh-in tomorrow. I wish it was in the fucking middle of the day so we could do a live chat around that. Mm-hmm. But I think it's at like 7 o'clock at night. Yeah, how much does Gable weigh?
Just walk around.
Yeah, well, he's heavyweight, so it's not like he's cutting. Just do how much does Gable Steveson weigh? Is he 240?
I'm sure they're gonna put like just regular heavyweight class. Is listed at 265? No freaking way.
It says MMA. Earlier this year he slimmed down to 249.
But check this out. He weighed around 260, 265 in NCAA wrestling.
Bring up a picture of him at media day. Says so will likely weigh somewhere between 250 and 265. God, he just doesn't he has a lot of ass and legs. But with all the tattoos, it's hard to see. But he's not fat, but he's not jacked.
I mean, I don't know if there's any shirtless ones here.
Yeah, I saw. He looks good there.
I see what you say about the tats. Those tats do cover.
It's tough to tell what he's working with. Yeah, he's like a smooth 260.
It's like a Hokit kind of body style.
Yeah, Hokit really should be a 205er.
Yeah.
Typing out, how tall is Gable? He's a big cat, huh? Yeah, it's just the tattoos. He's just smooth.
6'1".
6'1", 2. He's thick. For Gable, he's playing a different game. He's big, man.
Yeah.
He's just a stout dude. For Gable, he's just playing a different game where, of course, he's gonna win. Of course. And he might be the biggest favorite of all time in the UFC.
Yeah, so it's all time.
He's a big favorite. So for him, it's like a complete disaster would be if this goes to the second round. Disaster. A complete disaster would be if he dominates him for 3 rounds and goes to decision. That's a disaster. The pressure on him is not only do you got to get him out of there, you got to do it impressively and not get touched.
Yeah.
At this level, too. But again, him being the biggest prospect in how long, that's what's required of you. Clearly he wins. I'll say KO. Hey,
that guy, though, his opponent, Alicia Ellison, I guess he's like, you saw him immediately?
No.
He was like, my kid's coming, my wife's going to be there. They have no idea what the training we put in, all that stuff. And I'm just like, oh, man.
None of it matters, bud. None of it matters. Would it impress you if Gable goes in and just double legs him, then pounds him out? Would you be cool with that? Or does he need to stay on the feet and do something super impressive there?
No, I think that would be cool if he double legged him.
If I'm Gable, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he goes out from that, that'd be wild.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's 3-4 away from a top 4 guy. But you look at the top 15, and it's like, man, he beats most guys 15 through 6. I would assume, based on what we've seen, with his wrestling credentials. Again, the biggest red flag too can be sometimes like Bo Nickel, right? They're fighting lower competition, they knock them out, and they fall in love with their striking. They think they're fucking strikers, and they negate their wrestling. They go away from the wrestling. That'd be a huge red flag for Gable. There's not enough hours in the day to keep up with Cyril Gane in striking, Poatan in striking, Tom Aspinall in striking. Do what got you to the motherfucking dance. Do what got you that gold medal. Break dudes. Be the heavyweight Khabib. Do that. It drives me nuts when they do something else. Nuts. Bantamweight, great fight. Cody Garbrandt, Adrian Yanez. Adrian was on a freaking tear. We thought he was championship material. Then he's fallen on some hard times.
Yeah, he was on a great tear.
Oh, my God, dude. Look at all those wins. And then he hit some tough turbulence. He's lost 2 out of his last – well, he's lost 3 out of his last 4, and he has a draw. You know? Cody's my boy. I never root against him. But, you know, it's been tough. It's been tough. If you're a Cody fan, it's been freaking tough. Really, after the Dominic Cruz fight, it's been very tough.
Yeah.
So he's lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's tough. Tough. It'd be tough not to pick Adrian Yanez here.
Yeah, Adrian's such a good striker, and then Cody. I don't want to say anything about his chin, but
Cody gets hit, but he sees red.
Yeah.
And that's where the technique goes out the window. Luke Riley, Kai. I like Luke Riley. Tracy Cortez. I'll take Tracy. But for the main card in prelims, someone's going to have to keep track of this in the chat. I'll take Luke Riley, Adrian Yanez, Gable Steveson, obviously, Robert Whittaker, Terrance McKinney, Loner, Cory Sandhagen, Paddy Pimblett, Conor McGregor. I think out of all those, I have one. Is Paddy a dog? Conor's a dog, big dog.
Small dog.
Okay, so I'm taking Paddy, dog, Conor, dog. Keep going down. Loner's favorite. Wow. Okay. Terrance McKinney, slightly favored. That's almost even. Keep going. Robert Whittaker, slightly favored. Okay. Gable Steveson, minus 2,800. And you're going to bring your fam. That's tough. Adrian Yanez, minus 425. That's freaking tough. Luke Riley, okay. Big favorite. Tracy Cortez, even money. All right. So I took some favorites. I took in the main picks. I took 2 dogs. Not a bad parlay. If you're trying to make some money, not a bad parlay. Little Paddy Conor action. Not saying bet your kids' college tuition on it, but some tasty odds there, some tasty money there. Holy shit! Conor is a plus 550.
No. Plus 1,200.
Oh, that's decision. Oh my God, that scared me. Oh my! I was like, what? Interesting. That line, yeah. Plus 185. You don't know what you're getting, buddy. That's tough. We have no idea what we're gonna get. You have no idea. You got anything else, Jen?
I mean, you pretty much covered everything, but we do have a read and
do a little read before we get in the super chat.
Yeah, and plus we got to do the disclaimer as well. So you want to do it, I can try, but if you want to do it,
you do it.
All right, I'll try. But
you ready?
Yep.
Little break here, then we'll jump right back in the episode. Fight night is here. They're talking about the big old Mystic Mac comeback fight this Saturday. And your friends at DraftKings has you fully covered. The DraftKings Sportsbook app is now available in all 50 states, includes all markets. You're in on the excitement at the speed of sports. Sweat every round of the card all in one place with one app. New to DraftKings customers, sign up with the code SCHAUBSHOW. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's SCHAUBSHOW, SCHAUB show in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Hit it, Chin.
All right, bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Bet tax pass-through. May apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook's bonus bet expire in 7 days. $50 in prediction dollars. Issued weekly for 3 weeks, expire in 1 year. Redeem non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions. Offer void in New York. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.co/audio. Okay.
All right, kids. Thanks for sticking through the read.
Let's go to the chat.
Yeah, let's go to the chat unless you got any big thing. But it's all media day, right? Then you got the weigh-ins, similar weigh-ins tomorrow. I think it's on CBS. Where we start at the top.
Yeah, I mean, I went all the way to the top if you want to do that.
Slow fit. Might as well a hater, though. Staying at the gym when you have a mansion means you're taking it seriously and locked in. Jimmy Adams, thank you, sir. I don't know if it's the best, but we're trying. Hello, Twitter world. Black Ross, yes. We've seen other people come back after long layoffs. Not many have, but it's been done by the greats, and Conor's a great. Couldn't agree more. Drew Loya says, why does it seem like MMA media, Josh Thompson, Dean Thomas, Masvidal, Weidman, why do they all seem to have anger towards Conor? Shouldn't he be treated like MMA royalty? He's changed the sport forever. They have their own issues with him. Josh Thompson, right? He's a Khabib guy. Dean Thomas, Poirier guy. Masvidal has his issues with Conor. Weidman, no clue. Maybe he's drinking the Kool-Aid there on set with the rest of the boys. So maybe it influences him a little bit. There's a lot of jealousy when it comes to Conor, right? Because a lot of guys aren't set like Conor. So there's a lot of jealousy. There's always been jealousy there. Timothy Coppinger says, I need you to put out oversized gym shirt ASAP. Dude, we got something cooking. I've had so many merch companies, designers reach out. Trust me, we got something cooking. I got you. Jonathan Price says, is it me or does Conor seem almost out of his element and nervous during fight week? Maybe I'm mistaking maturity and confidence for nervousness since it's not the same Conor I've followed since day one. No, I'm not getting a nervousness. I'm getting it's almost like he's finally stopping and smelling the roses vibe. Curtis, nothing better than listening to my favorite Nordstrom mechanic on this Thursday morning. What up, dog? The Eaton one-shot power puts him in the game either way. Correct. Chin's the man. Agree, Jimmy. This guy says, at Luke Thomas.
At Thomas, right?
Oh, I thought that was Luke Thomas. How's the buzz around the city? Have the Irish invaded yet? I'm curious. Or do the Irish show up for this one? Drew Casablanca, Big B, you see Conor break character when Justin said he wanted to punch him in the face as join the queue? Yeah, facts. The Caden God, there you go. They literally watch him eclipse them in their careers. There's got to be some saltiness, for sure. What's that, Chin? Oh, the Irish. Yeah, there's no way to tell till it's fight night. Oh, wow. Thomas says, who's at the event in Vegas, says they're fucking everywhere. Wow. What happened to Conor being hated by the Irish and not having any fan support? Weird. Drew Loya says, thank you for your donation. Why does MMA media treat Conor horribly? Dean Thomas, Josh Thompson, Masvidal, Weidman all seem to have jealousy. Shouldn't be treated like royalty. He's definitely given him some ammo to come for him. But those guys aren't MMA media. Those are former fighters. So you always got to take that with a grain of salt. Now, the MMA media has treated Conor shitty, but also he's given him a lot of ammo, too. It's not like he's been a saint, So some of it I can see. Some of it they got to fucking get over and move on, man. But they'll use his name for clicks. Dylan, welcome to the club, big dog. Devin, 33. Let's go. What's up, fam? What up, man? The Stona. Yeah, where you been, bud? You're back now. Brock was pretty damn big. He was big. Wasn't Conor big, though? Slowfit. Khabib was big internationally. Never in the States, though. Internationally is different. Conor was big here and internationally. And on all sorts of, like, Conor ain't going on Jimmy Fallon, even in his heyday. Conor, nobody's putting Khabib in a movie. You know what I'm saying? DJ Ambo, I want Conor to win so bad, but I'm assuming he won't. Why assume, bud? Who knows? And Austin says, I don't care if Conor wins. I was just hoping for a good showing. I think it's a war, and Max puts him away in the fourth. Conor doesn't lose any stock from his loss. I'll take that. It's going to be heartbreaking if he's a shell of himself. That's what we can't have. The Eaton says, Conor's on the religious jam now. Whatever gets him on track, I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. Whatever gets him to quit being a knucklehead, that's a good thing. Joey says, which is better bet for the odds? Conor by KO pays $270 for a $100 bet, or Max by decision pays $650. God, buddy. I'm a bad one to ask about this because I'm rooting for Conor. That $100 on Max to win $650 is not bad, dude. Gemma Girl says, while you're here, click the like button. Thank you, girl. Damien Yent says, money makes you more of what you already are. Couldn't disagree more, bud. Conor was a wild dude before the UFC. Not true. They made him, and he was able to indulge more because he had the means out. Nope. He had access and was constantly around it. The doors open up that you didn't think were possible. Trust me on that, bub. Clay Scruggs. Brendan, I sent you a DM on IG. I can help you with merch, all made in the U.S. too. Ooh. I got to find that, man. We have a local Austin shop helping us with this first batch, brother. The Stona, would it be dirty of Max to come out and just whip in them calf kicks right from the jump? Kind of smart, though, right? No, all's fair in love and war, especially in the fight game. I don't know if that gets it done for him, though, because I assume Conor's team's playing for that, and they're going to counter that. Dylan Clemente says it's a cultural thing. A lot of people in Northern Europe do what McGregor was doing every weekend until they're in their late 40s. Interesting. Kobe says, Ellison said him and his team are prepared for this fight. What does that mean by that? Oh, man. They think they're prepared for it. I don't think they realize what kind of animal they're dealing with, you know? But, again, to his defense, he's like, yeah, man, we train hard. My defensive wrestling's really good. It's like, it's not, though. Years ago. Damien Event, we got a hater here. Generational? You don't think Conor's generational talent? Who is?
I think that was a compliment.
No, he's saying generational, easy.
Like, yeah, easy. He's definitely generational. I don't know. We could take it two different ways.
No, you're way off, Jen.
All right,
Read comments. Yeah. He's saying generational, question mark, easy.
Oh, okay. I see what you're
Yeah.
saying.
It's all good, dude. You're older.
Hey, whatever, dude.
Gamma Girl, yes. That's why comparing Conor to those with long breaks isn't comparable. He's always walked his own path. He creates. Why would this fight be any different? Guess the only time. I couldn't agree more. He's a different animal. The Stoner says, also, Max does love calf kicks. Just saying, I think that's the easy way for. I don't think his team. Listen, when you have an injury like that, you're going to assume guys are going to go for it. So they're prepared to counter that. Big Rich says, my girlfriend's from Mexico, barely speaks English, and she knows who Conor is. That tells you something. Yeah. Ask her about the other stars on the card. She's like, see? No bueno. Patrick, dude, I'm a member now. Welcome, big dog. Terps Wrestling says, I feel like we're totally overlooked that fact that Conor is much more dangerous and violent athlete than anyone Max has faced. Close thing is Ilya. What are your thoughts? Agree 1,000%, especially at welterweight. Devin33 says, no UFC Expo. They canceled for some reason. Really? This vibe in Vegas is usually a little different when big fights come. It's just not the same right now. Any idea of why they're laying low? No. I wonder what's going on there. Devin33 says, slap fight tickets are $1,400 and $9,000. No. No. There's no way. Slowfit says, did you see Conor and Ian Gary dap it up? Didn't realize how much bigger Ian is. Yeah, Ian's a big cat. Tall, dude. Truecast Blanc says, they canceled the UFC Expo for White House event and did it there. Oh, was that the big thing they did there? Oh, interesting. Taylor, welcome to the crew. Scott, you're not late, dude. You're just in time. Captain, I would die for my brothers. That's how most people are. Black Ross, thanks, big dog. Slowfit, my brain says Max, but my heart says Conor. Either way, you just want a good scrap. Agree, brother. Omar, that's the business, though, brother. That's just the business. You know, they're not bad people. It's just the business. Slowfit, also, Team Mac isn't making any predictions this time. Yeah, if you listen to Johnny, says they're not coming out saying anything. They're just laying low, letting the hard work do the talking. So we'll see how it goes. Auto guided production. Geesh, the last upload of T5K is a bit rough to watch. Chemistry's off, feels weird. Different combo, bud. Rafi says, did anyone see Conor take full responsibility for being a total D-bag? He said, 2017, double champ, I got the Mayweather fight and I started a whiskey company. I was an athlete at the top of my game. Yeah, dude, the world opens its oysters and not all those oysters are good for you. Jimmy Adams, that's a fair bet. If Conor doesn't TKO Max in 2 rounds, I'll take my Max decision. That's a fair bet. Rafi says, he said he never drank and went wild. Dude, I relate to that. Black Ross, Conor wins by submission the first round. Nah, buddy, you're wild for that. Bet on it, man, if you truly believe that, but I don't see that. Captain 420, when you fight Charles, you don't expect a stand-up fight. Yeah, but the difference is you still adapt to it. So if you're fighting Charles and you're like, oh, shit, it's just grappling, you have round after round to adapt to it, and you never adapt. That's usually a red flag. Slow fit, but it was for BMF. We all thought it was going to be a slugfest. Cool. And maybe the first 3 minutes you're expecting a slugfest. Then you realize he's just wrestling. You got to adapt. It's mixed martial arts. You have to. Trent, welcome to the club, big dog. Trump and Dad says Conor looks jacked. A finish is most likely. I hope you're right, brother. Sandy says, remember what Conor did to Cowboy? I do. That wasn't like vintage Cowboy, though. But yeah, I do. Hit me up for solar. Big Dick Bandits for life. Thanks, brother. East Texas timepieces. Yo, I'm late. You're good, bud. The Gemma Girl. DraftKings plus 4,000. Conor round 1 sub. Dude, I don't see that happening. East Texas, the Mac is back, yes. Omar says, for you bettors, don't sleep on those Wang Kong odds. Trent, long-time listener, but late to the live stream party. All good, brother. Welcome. Better late than never. Dylan says, Conor getting slept. See, I don't think he gets slept. If anything, he gets TKO'd. Max isn't a guy who sleeps people, especially a bigger guy like Conor right now. Mikey Mukai says, the fight feels like Christmas. I don't want it to be over. Me neither. I don't want to get off the ride, but at some point, Disney's going to tell us to get off the rides, kids. Whether it's this Saturday or, 2027 Saturday, we got to get off. Trump and Dad says he too rich to go on another run. Maybe. He's also an outlier, man. Stevie G. Rodriguez, who's the biggest combat sports athlete? I think it's Conor. No one brings more eyeballs and clicks. It's not even close. There's not even a 1A, 1B. It's Conor and then the rest of the people. Conor, Brock. Big Rich says, I bet a little money on Conor and Paddy. Yeah, why not? Have some fun. Two dogs. Get your money, big dog. Slowfit says, Gable's the biggest favorite in UFC history. That's wild. Trump and Dad, Dodgers, yuck, go Mariners. Yeah, we're winning though, brother. No, you're not. Jimmy Adams, how crazy it Justin made history with retirement in the back of his mind. Crazy, dude. Nothing to lose. Rafi, can you imagine, brother? Picture this. Max is beating Conor for 5 rounds, then points down last minute. Conor KOs Max in the last second. Buddy, that would be so cool. Abe says, I don't believe the rich myth. Depends on the fighter and why they got into fighting or why they keep fighting. I think Conor misses fighting. Agree. Doesn't need to fight. Canelo rich as balls. UFC's a little different, though. A little different. Well, you always bring up, like, Floyd, right? He's rich as shit. Got to 50-0. Again, but there has to be more to it than just money. And I think for Conor, it's more than money. It's just that money came on like a tidal wave, and I don't think he knew how to handle it. Most people don't. There's not a lot of athletes that handle that well. Majority don't. Rafi says, Cory going to get finished. Interesting. Keep going down. Most people are agreeing with the picks except for a few. People says Paddy had his chin up high versus Justin. He looked awful in that Justin fight. Raw Dog, you fight of the night? Yeah, good chance. Kavanagh wins by KO in the third. Good chance. Slowfit says, I haven't seen any of the embeddeds. This gentleman says King Green is the star of embeddeds. King Green's so fun. He told a story when we had him on Food Truck Diaries, and I was like, dude, we can't use most of this. I wish we could. Gimma Girl says, Green is a fun underdog, worth it. Oh, yeah, that fight, flip a coin. Flip a freaking coin for that fight. Thomas says, Paddy took a beating, but he's legit 170er. Yeah. Black Ross says, I'm going to go Robert by first or third KO. I agree with that. Slowfit says, Gable got that sleeper build. Yeah, he does. Keep going down.
How can you answer this?
Slowfit says, Gable mentioned that someone from the camp said Hokit was potentially thinking about going down to 205. Maybe if he were to lose his next one, I could see Hokit going down, but right now there's no point. Burnsides is back. Thank you for the donation. I reckon these a solid Bisping pod, BB crossover audience. Would it ever be in the cards? Join forces, do anything together? UFC alignment, slow that down. Love Bisping. Anything he wants to do, I'd be down. I don't know if we mesh back and forth. We've worked together when I worked for the UFC. When I do UFC now, I love Bisping though. It would be fun to go back and forth with him. He's great. Omar says, someone said that Terrance McKinney looks like a 6-year-old boy watching cartoons on his iPad, waiting for his mom to bring him chicken nuggies. Now I can't unsee it. Yeah, he does. Captain 420, such a bad idea. Bring the family. That one, yeah. When you're the biggest underdog in UFC history, probably leave the family at home. Farewell Tattoos. This talk is giving Bo Nickel flashbacks, right? White Craig. First time caller, long time listener. Decided to jump on instead of listening on Spotify like some kind of cuck. Does Gable try and showcase his striking like Bo did? Depends on what's available to him. I would like to see for his progression as a UFC fighter too, a big takedown. I'm talking like DC, what DC did to Josh Barnett, like spike on his head and finish him. That's what I'd like to see. Black Ross, I'm going to go with Cody Garbrandt, KO in the second. That'd be great. Slovis says, why wouldn't you bring your family to see the next best heavyweight? Yeah, TJ is what happened. Yeah, fair. Big Rich says, I dropped 40 on Conor, just enough for me to yell at the TV, right? Black Ross, I don't see more people broken by anyone than TJ. That dude, he was such a killer. Loner has some serious hands. He does. He's a savage.
Did it jump too far?
This should be good. That fool Chris says, listen to you and DP. I'm gonna stop drinking. Dustin Poirier. I'm only having a few drinks a month, not getting drunk, so I'm not giving up much. Better to give it up early than late. Yeah, forget even a few a month, man. Try and ditch all of it. Big Brown Live, BBL for the watch party. That's right, Tane. Members only merch coming soon. Omar says, hey man, was watching some old fights last night and was wondering, did you have any of your old fighter cards? Been looking to find a good one of yours, but you got any one-on-one out there? No one's ever given me the one-of-ones. I have a few, but none of the one. I wish I had the one-on-ones. I wish I had the ones where they have my shorts on them. I don't know where you can find those though. Patrick Ross says, fan question, can you tell us more detail about the time you saw Dwayne Ludwig cave that overzealous wrestler's head in and what that injury looked like? Any more details? You mentioned it years ago. God, the details are a little shady on that for me, but I just remember this dude coming in and was going way too nutsos, and Dwayne was a savage, man. And, he dealt that guy up. Dark Aoki says Cody Sandhagen, Cory Sandhagen for sure beating Bautista. Levels of sport. Agree. Hearts for Angels. Conor talked about boxing Manny Pacquiao a long time ago. Do you think that can still happen? If he gets mollywopped Saturday night, you're going to start seeing some of that bullshit circus acts. Trent says, off the top, what are the odds of going to Nashville, hitting a Theopod, and making an appearance for the dads with your boy Will Compton? God, I don't have time to get out there, brother. I'd love to, though. I love what Will's doing, especially all the dad talk. Obviously, me and Theo are close. I don't know, brother. Drew Casablanca, so do we figure out what we're naming Saturday's companion? I got a graphic art. He's making it the Big Brown Showdown. We feeling it? East's tech timepiece. Nobody know who you are. Conor to Khabib. Yeah. Black Ross says, the only person I want Brendan to do an MMA pod with is Chael. Love Chael as well. Callan was with Chael last night at the MMA Awards. SB Youngbloods. I have Conor by TKO in the first round feel out, second round clash, third round finish. I like that prediction. The Stona says, I have one of your cards with the fight shorts. I'll pay you to sign it. I'll pay for that card. I need that for my kiddos. Brew, sounds good, brother. The Graph Gorilla, Big Brown Throwdown or Big Brown Showdown? Well, now I'm confused.
I like Throwdown too. Remember you said when I said Showdown, you're like, that's like an old person.
That's why I did it, because you did it. I thought it was funny. Jimmy Adams says, I vote Throwdown.
Yeah, I like Throwdown too.
Thomas says, throwing 5K against the guy fighting John Jones 8-ball. Oh, Gable going to end up being the same trash cheat. Oh, wow. Thomas, you sound like you're about as fun as a bag of dicks, bud. Just because he's associated with John doesn't mean he's partaking all that shit, man. Remember, he's an Olympian. So I don't know. We've been going about almost an hour and a half. All right, we're almost done, kids. One more minute. Thomas, 5K. Okay. Right. Abe says, insane difference from the beginning of the year as far as fight cards and matchups since Hamzat Strickland UFC has been cooking. Buddy, have they been cooking. My word, have they been cooking. Chico Bean, Big Brown, MMA Guru link up. Would love to riff with him. We just got to do it in person. I think that's it, kids. Those are our picks. I'll go over them one more time. I'm taking Luke Riley, Adrian Yanez, Gable Steveson, Robert Whittaker, Terrance McKinney, Loner, Cory Sandhagen, Paddy Pimblett, and Conor McGregor. I can't wait. I cannot freaking wait, man. I can't wait. Thank you guys so much. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. Oh, my God, we're getting close. Tomorrow is Friday, kids. And we will do the live chat where I answer every single question you put up on there. And boom. That's what we're going to do. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time. Thank you guys so much. I'm Big Brown. I'm out.